Emotion, the greatest weapon in the hands of the weak, and the greatest signal to those who understand it. Every man believes his emotions are proof of authenticity, a sign that he is alive, passionate, human. But in the realm of power, emotion is not life, it is vulnerability. It is the crack in the armor that reveals what truly controls him. The fool expresses emotion, the observer studies it. The fool reacts, the strategist records. And in that difference lies the boundary between being ruled and ruled. You see, people expose themselves long before they realize it. Every emotion is a confession. Anger reveals where they feel powerless. Jealousy exposes what they secretly desire. Fear shows you the exact pressure point that can control them. And love uncovers the illusion they are willing to destroy themselves for. While most people get lost inside these feelings, the Machiavellian mind remains detached, calm, not because it lacks emotion, but because it refuses to serve it. To read people instantly, you must study emotion as a scientist studies disease, not with sympathy, but with precision. Watch closely when someone gets angry. Observe the tremor in their voice, the tightening of their jaw, the flash in their eyes before they attempt to disguise it. Most believe anger gives them strength. It doesn't. It exposes the part of them they can't control. The louder a person becomes, the more fragile their authority truly is. The Machiavellian observer knows this. He never meets anger with anger. He lets it play out, like a fire consuming itself. Because when emotion burns out, reason returns. And that's when truth surfaces. Jealousy is another form of confession. When someone envies you, they tell you exactly what they wish they had. It's an unintentional admission of their insecurities. A jealous man will try to sabotage you subtly, through jokes, criticism, or silence. But beneath that performance is longing, and longing is predictable. Understand what fuels their envy, and you understand how to control their behavior. Offer them what they crave, and they'll follow you. Threaten to take it away, and they'll break. Fear, however, is the purest emotion to study, because it's the oldest. It bypasses logic, and reveals the animal beneath the mask. You can see it in their breathing, in the sudden hesitation before they speak, in how their posture shrinks when faced with dominance. Fear tells you exactly how much power you hold over someone. The wise observer doesn't mock fear. He measures it, because once you know what someone fears losing, reputation, love, control, comfort, you hold the strings to their mind. Fear governs the masses. To understand fear is to understand obedience itself. But perhaps the most dangerous of all emotions is affection. Not because it weakens others, but because it tempts you to drop your guard. Love blinds faster than hatred. When you care deeply, you stop observing clearly. The people you love can deceive you easily, because you want to believe them. That is why Machiavelli warned rulers to be feared rather than loved. Fear keeps men cautious. Love makes them bold in betrayal. If you wish to read others, never let affection cloud your judgment. Care, but calculate. Listen, but analyze. The art of reading emotion lies in detachment. You must become the mirror that reflects others' emotions without absorbing them. When someone grows angry, remain calm. When they flatter you, stay indifferent. When they cry, observe the reason, not the tears. Most people get manipulated because they take emotion at face value. They assume sincerity where there is strategy, guilt where there is performance, pain where there is power play. But the Machiavellian mind reads emotion as language. Every gesture, every tone, every silence has a meaning, and meanings reveal motives. The eyes, for instance, betray emotion faster than words. When someone lies, their eyes dart, not because they're searching for truth, but because they're escaping guilt. When they admire, pupils expand, nature's way of revealing interest. The body follows the truth even when the mouth lies. A shift in weight, a change in breathing, a forced smile, each is a fragment of emotional code. The skilled observer connects these fragments until the truth forms a complete picture. To master this art, you must train your own emotions first, because you cannot read others clearly if you are blinded by your own reactions. When someone insults you, and you feel rage, that rage is your leash, the moment they can control you. When you get defensive, you hand them your power, but when you remain still, when your expression doesn't change, they begin to fear you, because silence and composure project something they cannot read. And what they cannot read, they cannot predict. That is where control begins, in stillness. Understand this. Emotion itself is not evil. It is necessary, human, and even beautiful, but only when you own it. The tragedy of most people is that they believe emotion expresses authenticity, when in truth it often expresses dependence. The Machiavellian learns to feel deeply but show little, to understand emotion without letting it command. He listens to words but studies tone. He sees faces but watches eyes. He hears laughter but notices timing. And when others explode, he remains unmoved. Not because he is heartless, but because he is in control. Power is not found in those who speak the loudest. It belongs to those who watch the longest. Most people believe influence comes from words, speeches, persuasion, charisma. But words are only smoke. The true currency of power is information. And information is gathered through silence. The man who observes while others talk is already 2 steps ahead, because while they reveal themselves, he collects the data that will rule them later. Look around you. The world is full of noise. Everyone wants to be heard, to prove they exist. They talk to defend their image, to feed their ego, to fill the silence they fear. But the observer has no such hunger. He knows that silence is not emptiness, it is awareness. Every second someone speaks, they leak something, a clue about their fears, their ambitions, their insecurities. Their words are not mere sounds, they are signals, and the one who listens with purpose decodes them all. Machiavelli understood that men reveal themselves most when they believe they are hiding. Give a man comfort, and he'll start speaking. Give him silence, and he'll start confessing. The powerful observer creates this silence deliberately, a void that others rush to fill. The secret lies in restraint. You don't interrupt. You don't correct. You simply let them talk. The more they speak, the more their armor cracks. The insecure will over-explain, the arrogant will boast, and the deceitful will contradict themselves. All you have to do is watch. Observation is not just about listening, it's about reading. You read tone, rhythm, hesitation. You study eyes, posture, and pauses. The way someone looks when they lie, the way their breathing changes when challenged, the twitch that escapes when they feel cornered. These are not random details, they are windows into the truth. The art of observation is not about intelligence, it's about patience. Most people miss the truth, not because it's hidden, but because they're too impatient to see it. The fool believes that speaking proves dominance. But when you speak, you give others a weapon. Your thoughts, your intentions, your position. Every word you say becomes a brick in the wall of your own exposure. The wise man, however, learns to weaponize silence. He knows that silence unnerves people. It forces them to reveal themselves. When you say nothing, people begin to project their own fears, assumptions, and desires onto you. They start trying to explain, justify, or impress, and in that process, they hand you the blueprint to their psychology. Watch 2 people argue. The one who remains calm, quiet, and still wins. Not because he dominates with words, but because he controls energy. The emotional one burns out. The quiet one observes and waits for the moment of weakness. In the world of strategy, patience is not passivity, it is preparation. Silence is not surrender, it is surveillance. You are not ignoring, you are recording. And what you record becomes your advantage when others are blind in emotion. The Machiavellian mind uses observation to rule, not react. When someone tries to provoke you, your silence frustrates them. They grow louder, more emotional, more careless. And in that state, they expose their intentions. This is how power shifts without a word spoken. The weak crave reaction, the powerful create tension through restraint. When you master observation, your calm becomes their confusion. Your stillness becomes their discomfort. And their discomfort becomes your control. There is another layer to observation. The ability to notice what isn't being said. Silence is not only a tool for yourself, it's also a space where others reveal what they avoid. When you ask a question and they pause too long, the truth lies in that pause. When they rush to answer, it's because they fear your judgment. When they change the subject, it's because you've touched something they wish to hide. The wise observer doesn't chase answers, he studies absences, because in human behavior, what's missing speaks louder than what's present. To truly observe, you must kill your need to be noticed. The more invisible you are, the more truth you will see. Don't announce your intelligence. Don't show your intent. Let others underestimate you. That's when they expose themselves fully. People act differently around those they believe have no power. They relax. They speak freely. They make mistakes. The Machiavellian observer thrives in that invisibility. He knows that to read the world, you must not be seen by it. Remember, the purpose of observation is not gossip, it's strategy. You are not collecting information for entertainment. You are gathering it for precision. The one who knows others but not himself is half blind. The one who knows himself but not others is half prepared. But the one who knows both wins every game before it begins. Observation gives you that power. It turns people into open books, conversations into maps, and gestures into confessions. So train your eyes. Learn to see what others overlook. When someone enters a room, don't just see their clothes. See their energy. When they speak, don't just hear words. Hear why they're saying them. When they move, don't just note direction. Note intent. Every human being leaves traces of their mind in the small details, but only the observer has the patience to collect them. And in that patience lies the foundation of dominance. You do not need to out-talk, outshine or outshout anyone. You simply need to outwatch them. The loud will reveal themselves. The silent will know everyone. Words come and go, but perception is permanent. The world belongs not to those who speak first, but to those who see first. Every human being is a prisoner of three invisible masters: desire, fear, and ego. No matter how wise, calm, or civilized a person appears, one of these forces governs every choice they make. To understand someone, you must discover which one rules them. Once you know that, you no longer guess their behavior, you predict it. The man driven by desire is the easiest to control. He will trade loyalty for opportunity, morality for pleasure, and honesty for reward. Show him what he wants most, and he will walk willingly into your hands. You don't have to threaten him, just tempt him. For the greedy, temptation is stronger than fear. The man ruled by fear is a fortress built on sand. His loyalty is not genuine, it's survival. He obeys because he's terrified of losing comfort, status, or approval. To read him, observe what he avoids speaking about. That's where his fear hides. Once you find it, you hold the key to his actions. Fear makes people predictable. They'll always move away from what threatens them, even if it leads them straight into manipulation. That the hardest to control and the easiest to destroy is the man driven by ego. He cannot see truth if it wounds his pride. He'll fight even when defeat is certain, simply to prove he's right. If you wish to break him, do not attack him, flatter him. Feed his illusion until he overestimates himself. Then let his pride bury him. Understand this. Beneath every mask lies one of these forces. Learn to see which one breathes behind their words, and the world will no longer surprise you. Because when you read the mind behind the mask, you hold power over the soul itself. In the end, reading people is not a gift, it's a discipline. You learn it by watching, listening, and detaching from the illusion of kindness. Because when you stop being impressed by people's words, you start to see their truth. The strong observe, the weak react, and in the grand chessboard of life, the player who reads minds doesn't need to manipulate them. He simply understands them, and understanding is power. Imagine walking into a room and knowing, within seconds, who fears you, who envies you, and who's pretending to respect you. Most people go through life blind, deceived by smiles, fooled by words, and comforted by masks. But those who understand the art of reading people see the truth that hides beneath appearances. Today I'll show you how to see through anyone, instantly, because in a world ruled by deception, power belongs to the one who observes, not the one who speaks. The first truth you must understand is this. Every face is a mask. People don't show who they are. They show what they want you to believe. Yet their true intentions always leak through the cracks. Look into the eyes. They never lie. Watch the way someone's pupils dilate when they're interested, or how their gaze shifts when they feel guilt. Notice the micro-expressions that flash for a fraction of a second before their mask resets. The real art is not to hear what they say, but to read what they try not to reveal. The world speaks in signals, and the Machiavellian mind decodes every one of them.